End of stage 5 of this afternoon's loop. It's the middle stage of the loop. There's been all sorts of drama happening in the first stage of the afternoon's loop, but this morning in this stage, the guy who was out front at the end of the first stage, Nikolai Greisen, the guy who was quickest as well in the qualifying stage, he crashed only a couple of kilometres from the end there, and we've got some action and replays of that. So let's just have a look at what happened to Greisen.
6 плюс резко резать. 80, левый 8 резко, 50, левый 3 закрытый, не резать. Держись.
We were pushing all stages, and sure we made some mistakes on the first part, and here's before the finish some couple of corners just tried to brake, and I don't know, maybe it's some dust on the road, because I feel like all wheels blocked, but I just released the braking pedal and nothing happened. We damaged the roll cage in the back side. It's not the main, so for tomorrow we can't continue.
So that was Greisen this morning having his moment, ending their rally. It's game over. The roll cage is damaged. I've actually seen the car now. It got brought out on a transporter into here. But let's just give you the latest up-to-date results. Gian Domenico Basso now leads the rally because Condola has had a puncture in stage number 4. He stopped to change it. Rossetti, who was up there as well, he's gone off in stage number 4, so one of our 3 Italians who are out front are not coming through there. Lukanuk, he came through the end of stage 4 with a front right puncture, but still actually gained 2 places due to the demise of Rossetti and the problems for Crugnola. Now, Habai is in 3rd as well, so he's gained a couple of places. Everyone gaining a couple of places at the moment. So it's Basso, Lukanuk, Habai, Campidelli, he's the one really on the move. Another one who's up there. Remember, he had a problem in this stage this morning. He's now up into 4th place overall in that brand new, sorry, 5th place overall in that brand new Ford Fiesta, because in 4th place is Philip Maris. But Maris is only 1.2 seconds away from Habai. The battle is continuing. It's massive. What we've got to remember is there's day points as well given out for these cars. And these top 7, it's 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down to the top 7 finishers. They go towards your championship classifications. Maris needs them. So does Lahabai. So does Alexei Lukanuk. Those two split at the top of our championship by 11 points coming in to today's action. The phone buzzes. There's been drama in stage number 4 also. Prince Albert in his Skoda Fabia. Remember earlier on in the day, he was complaining about having fumes in the car, petrol fumes. I noticed it at the end of stage 1. And now he had a lot of petrol fumes. All of a sudden there was like a whoosh noise, and then the car caught fire. The fire is out there. Him and Bernard are fine. There's not a problem there. But it's game over for him, which is a big disappointment in theory on his home rally, because he lives in Rome, only a couple of 100 metres away from the start ramp that was. I look further down the order. Scandola is in 6th place. Then it is Herzig in 7th. 8th, Chris Ingram. No problems this afternoon in the first stage with the brakes. Remember, everything was changed in the service because he had problems this morning with the rear brakes not being totally efficient for the first 3 stages. That looks like it's been rectified now in the service park, which is great. Flick up more results as we go through. Crugnola, he went from 1st to 10th. That's where he dropped to with changing that wheel and tyre in there. Emma Falcon, she's up to 11th at the moment. Hiroki Arai, he has had a front right puncture in stage number 4 and dropped down a couple more places. Just going to see what these messages are, because these could be vital bits of information with us. Nope, they're not. I thought they might be news coming through from there. So they are the big stories as we wait now for the ERC2 cars to come through. that stage number 4. We'll get some results up from them. Then the ERC3 category cars, which incorporates the juniors, remember. But Greyer's in, he crashed, as we said there. It was the same corner as Laurent Pellier last year. We were believing it was only 100 metres, 200 metres from the stop line. It is a little bit further than that. This stop line has reverted to the stop line that we had 2 years ago. Last year, it was about 1.5 kilometres further down there. So he crashed not far away from last year's stop line. But at the end of the day, he's not going any further. Car is quite badly damaged. It's got a bit of roll cage damage. So you cannot continue once you've had roll cage damage. So that is the news there. It's very, very hot, as you can see from behind me. I'm already starting to get a bit of a sweat on, but the road is bone dry. There is a lot of damage to the road, as in stones and rocks. But this stage, the surface itself is pretty consistent through the whole stage. There is a sequence of hairpins, and we're just over 900 metres above sea level at the stop line, and it just comes up just onto the top. We're going to have some strange gaps coming through. I'm going to give you those gaps. Oh, we're not. Maris is already here. I didn't expect Maris here quite so quick, but Maris is here. We'll get ourselves onto the other side of the car. The marshal picks up the board. I'll just get the door open for Chris, the cameraman there. He'll get himself into that position, or we're going to do it that way. That's fine. Got a quick word with Philip. Everything seems to be okay. Philip, second time through there. How was it?
Yeah, I decided to slow down a little bit after previous stage because the previous one was really crazy generally, and the pace is quite high. So yeah, I just need to keep this pace at this moment, and maybe we will try later.
You got one more chance of it to try later to get himself into a better road position in this stage. Just move the stone. Okay, just checking any more information as some stories come in. I can't listen to that right at this moment because we are live. I'm going to give you these stage gaps. Let's just see what they are. I thought that was in that group. It's in another group. We've got so many groups. Let's just see what it is. The first 3 cars will go with 4-minute gaps. Then the next cars, up until car number 8, will go with 3-minute gaps, and then the rest will be 2-minute gaps. That's going to get away from the delay. Rather than delaying the stage or having a big gap later on, the organisers very quickly and very smartly just spacing out the gap. So we've got a few minutes now to wait for our next car to come through, and that's when we start to look at our start list. This is what the organisers give us, and it's a guide through what. So I really need to get a pen out and mark who is not coming through. But next up should be Cronola. He's had the puncture. He was leading. Rossetti is not going to come through. I need to put a cross through him. Neither's Greising. You look at this. Meyer Menahoff, he was out in the first stage this morning. Now Rossetti's out. Greising's out. 3 of our first 5 cars through are not going to make it through to here for our afternoon run. So less cars for us, and the organisers just kind of like elongating the gaps so that there's no big delay and gaps, because once you start to get a big gap of like 15-20 minutes, in theory some organisers like to run the 0 car back through, but that is just creates big problems going into the next stages. So hopefully that won't be needed by just making 4-minute gaps for the first 3, then 3-minute gaps for the next 5, which is then the 8th car on the road, and then everyone else down to 2-minute gaps. So that should be fine. One more stage to go as well after this. Philip Maris is saying there that he's just backed off a little bit. He doesn't want to back off too much. He's only 1.2 seconds behind Lukas Habai, and I would have thought he'd want to get past Habai, but this stage is 13.93 k's. They've got one more to go, which is 21.17 kilometres long, and all 3 stages completely different characteristics that we have seen this morning. And I'm trying to think who it was, Orhan Ovjoglu, saying that you can't really set the car up for all 3 stages because they're so different, so you need to set it up for kind of 1 or 2 of them, and one's not going to be super perfect in there. But 8 minutes 32.6 is the time on the board for Philip Maris at the moment. Just having a look at that time. This is the board that is written up by our trusty marshals. And the timing board here, the timing table. So we have just while we've got gaps and things like that. So we have the time comes through on here. It's on a little connection, because 300 metres down the road where the cars appear from is the flying finish, and as they go through, there's a button pressed and electronic tagged, and it comes through on here The lady here writes it down, and then it comes through. Now, we already have car 16's time on that piece of paper, because he crossed through the line a few seconds ago, and the time comes through instantly as Andrea. Door was open when he came into sight, and then it flings shut as he gets himself ready. At a huge disappointment, tyre in the back. He has a second one. Andrea, obviously huge disappointment in the previous stage. What is the aim now?
Previous stage, it's always a gamble, like every year. So we got a puncture, it's part of the game. We need to keep push, and let's see how many positions we can gain before the end of the day. Of course, we lost more than 2 minutes, so we have no chance to win this race. Yeah, we need to keep positive and carry on.
And some words in Italiano, please.
Purtroppo questa qua è una gara, è la mia bestia nera, Pico, e è così, bisogna stare positivi perché prima o poi le vittorie arriveranno.
Grazie, ciao. And that is Andrea Crugnola on his way in the number 16 Skoda Fabia, as he just gets handed a bottle of water, and it's an 8:20.8. 8:20.8, so nearly 12 seconds quicker than Philip Maris and Crugnola. It is a situation of what could have been. As he said there, he can't win the rally. The lady's just looking at what the time was through from this morning, but it's extremely hot. I think it's about 32, 33 degrees. That's what it was when I arrived, and I don't think it's got any less. There is a couple of clouds around, and fortunately, we were told, and it's not come true yet, but we were told that it was going to rain lots over the course of the rally, Saturday and Sunday. Fortunately, at the moment, it hasn't come, because it's not nice driving in wet tarmac, and it's certainly not nice standing out here reporting on it. This might be a bit hot and sweaty, and but it's much better than getting pouring down with rain and getting soaked. Now, the reason why, as well as the temperature from the sun, these cars get so hot on gravel and on tarmac, but with the road being so warm, when the cars come to the end of the stage, the teams call it heat soak, and the car stops, and the heat just kind of like from the exhaust, from the engine bay, the wheels, the tyres, the gearbox tunnel, everything, just the heat is just immense, and it just kind of comes up out of the car, and it's just like standing basically next to a red hot fire. And that's why whenever they're stopped here, we chock the wheel with the stone, one, so they don't have to put their foot on the brake, because then that will even heat the brakes up even more. They can let their foot off the brake, but the heat that comes out of the car, now in some cars in the World Championship, some of those cars have issues then with alternators and things like that overheating while the car stood. We've seen on the ERC a friend Lorena, what he does is he keeps the engine revving to keep the car, and I'm just sweat just running down my arm. I was wondering what it was. Lorena keeps he revs the engine quite high, which then keeps the fans spinning really, really quickly to then cool or help cool the engine down. It's fine when they're going through the stage quickly and there's a lot of airflow into the car, but once they stop for the 30 or 40 seconds that they're stopped here waiting for their time card to go across, they're not stopping for us. They're stopping because they have to stop here to hand their time card off. We're just using it as a great opportunity to interview the drivers, or the co-drivers, depending on who we are speaking to, but mainly it's the drivers that we speak to. And the reason why that is pure and simply because the co-driver has a huge amount of work to do at a stop line. They need to make sure the time card goes to the marshal. Once they've done that, normally the driver passes the crash helmet to the co-driver. They've got to get rid of that. They're then getting the road book out because they need to follow the road book for the next stage. Then they're getting past the time card back in as Basso arrives. This is our rally leader who is into the stop line. Basso is here now. We'll get a quick word with him. Try and get it in English, but we'll see. But Dan Domenico is nearly won here last year. It was a massive clawback at the end of the rally. Not quite enough, though. There was a stage cancelled, and he probably needed that stage. But Gian Domenico in the lead now. How is it going?
Sì, stiamo andando con un buon passo. Nella prova di Pico, come anche l'anno scorso, ci sono stati dei ritiri e adesso Rossetti è uscito di strada, Crugnola ha forato e stiamo cercando di mantenere la concentrazione senza esagerare. perché adesso abbiamo un po' di vantaggio e quindi dobbiamo cercare di guidare bene senza perdere però troppo tempo.
Dan Domenico Basso, I think it's a great name. I think it's a fabulous name. And his time through the stage is an 8:27.7. Crignola, I screen grab, there's a funny little rattly noise there. I'm not going to worry too much about that. I'm just going to try and get my phone, but because my hands are so sweaty, what I'm going to just look at is where I screen grabbed it. I'm sure I did. No, I didn't. I need to screen grab it. I'm going to get the results from the previous stage just to have a look, which after stage number 4, Crignola, as we said, was in 10th. 31 seconds away from 9th. I mean, he's gone quickest by 7 seconds in there. I know he's never going to win the rally, but it'd be interesting to see where he ends up by the time stage 16 runs tomorrow, as I just get some more times through from stage number 4. Let's have a look. Have any of our ERC2 category cars come through from there? Yeah, Andrea Nucita is through, and so is Darius Polonsky. And Nucita quickest through so far. 2 more to come through in that category. And then during this broadcast, we will give you some information on ERC3 and the junior category. We might get some of our ERC3 cars through here, which would be great as well before we cut off air, because they are important to our championship, and hopefully they're the youngsters that'll end up moving up from their front-wheel drive cars, their R2 cars, into R5 cars in the European Rally Championship, and then after that they move on to the world stage, which is what Eurosport and the ERC are very proud of, is the way that they nurture all this talent. And if you look at the World Rally Championship now, I think that it's something like 75% of the drivers who are in the World Championship in manufacturer cars have been through the ERC or the IRC series and learnt their trade here. So it is a very, very good stepping stone, and that's what our junior drivers like in the R2 category are kind of looking at as the next car comes up the hill. It's Lucas Habai. Just going to look underneath the car as it comes in, because there's that crest there. Get a bit of a look at underneath the car. Little puff of smoke from the brakes. I'm just going to go round and check. Yeah, everything is okay. Yeah, everything is fine. Habai getting a quick drink. Get a quick word with Lucas. Lucas, again, it's still very, very hot. Tyre management is something you've got to worry about. But how's it going? It's a great fight.
Yes, this stage was okay, no problems. I was just very cautious on hairpins. But then in general, you know, we improved setup a lot, and now it's going well. We didn't have any problems. It was a clean, nice run.
Yeah, 2 spins in here, I think, this morning, so you've improved.
Yeah, we had 2 spins here and 1 in the first stage, so 3 in total. But okay, this loop is going quite well for us.
That's good, it is going quite well. And I'm just looking at his time. He's gone 7 seconds quicker than Maris. That is great. That is the kind of performance that Habai needs. I should have just mentioned also this car, he rolled this car on Tuesday in a test. Not a huge roll, just damage to the roof and everything like that. But an 8:32.6 is the time for Marish, then an 8:25.6. So that's 7 seconds that Habai has taken out. Now, I think it was only 1.8 between them when they came in there into this stage. Whoops. It was 1.2 it was, so now that gap definitely is going in the right way for Habai. He needs to be as close as he can, if not in front, if he can do that. I'm not sure whether that's going to be possible, to Luckenough, because of the day points that are given out. 11 points between them as they came in, as I said earlier, and Luckenough at the moment is going to get 1 more point to his name than what Habai is going to get. So that'll bring it down to 10. But Habai will see that as a success if he can kind of limit that gap to Luckenough at every opportunity possible. But car 1 is through. 8:25.6 is the time. Let's see if any more cars have come through the previous stage, stage number 4, because this is stage 5, but this is like a chapter of a book. There's 16 chapters. Call them stages, but this is one part of the rally. Now all of our cars are through, and it's Meligari who is still in 3rd place in ERC2 in his Abarth. It's a different car this weekend for Meligari, learning it in an Italian car. And then Mashifri Alfethri. He is in 4th place in ERC2. They have now completed stage number 4. They're on their way to stage number 5. Also coming through stage number 4 is some of our leading junior drivers. Ken Torn so far is the quickest through. Cinder Furasev dropping 9.2 seconds, which is amazing. So Furasev still leads though, such was his command this morning. Munster is in 2nd. Ken Torn is in 3rd. Just checking this is correct. Stage 5, yeah. Eric Size has dropped down a position as we get ourselves ready. He's now 4.9 seconds away from Ken Torn. Ken Torn's had a flyer. He was quick in stage number 3, quick in stage number 4. Ken Torn's specialised surface is not tarmac, but he's having a good run on it at the moment. As the next car, Chris Ingram, just having a look down underneath the car as he comes towards us. He's into this control now. Just shock the wheel, check the right rear, everything is okay. Thank you. Chris Ingram. Chris, obviously this morning there were issues, you've been to service, that's sorted. What's this like through your second time?
Yeah, it was a good stage, but we spun on one of the hairpins. Had to reverse. It's been a bit of a frustrating day, but we need to keep it together.
How much time do you think you lost?
10
or so seconds with a spin on the hairpins. We mentioned them before. Whoops. We mentioned them before. Don't know why that won't shut. We'll leave that. A 41.3. 41.3 is the stage time. So he's in a battle for ERC1 junior points with Philip Maris, who's car 4. Maris has done a 32. Ingram's just done a 41. So 9 seconds lost there to Philip Maris. That just takes him away. I'm going to see if that drops him down a position. Let's have a quick look if that'll drop him down a position as we get the phone racked up again. I was going through the ERC3 and the junior category, wasn't I? Furasev still leads. This is after stage 4. Before they come into here, Munster is in 2nd. Ken Torn is in 3rd. Eric Size, he's dropped a place into 4th. We'll get more information on that as more cars come through. But as I flick back to the main category, where was Ingram? Ingram was in 8th place. He had 19 seconds over Martin Sesks, so he should be okay with that 9 or so seconds loss. He might not drop another place. He can't afford to drop another place in his battle with Philip Maris for that under 20, the ERC Junior 1 category that he is in. So let's just flick now right into stage number 5 and see what is happening at the front. As we know, Krugnola has gone fastest, but it's Basso is out front. Habai currently sitting in 2nd place. We're waiting for Lukanuk. And look at my start list, and it's Hersig next, then Arai, then it is not Albert, we'll have a gap again there, then it's Lukanuk, then Skandaler coming through. But we're on to 3-minute gaps, I think, now, as the heat just is pounding down. Could just do with that awning being a little bit higher so Chris, the cameraman, could get underneath it, because he's out in the sun as well as I am, and he is carrying a camera that's probably about 20-25 kilos, I think, or something like that, and he's got to do that for an hour or so as Hersig turns up. Quick glance underneath, everything looks okay when I go and look underneath the car. The Polo really noisy, so get a quick word with Norby, having a great run at the moment. Norby, it's been a good weekend so far for you. You happy with the car?
Yes, everything is okay. We changed a little bit in the service park, our setup, and this loop is much better. I was driving very carefully because of the puncture. I tried see the road and next to the road. So we are here and very happy.
And some words in Hungarian, please, for people at home.
Sziasztok srácok, nagyon egyre jobban jövünk fel. Az első kört egy kicsit azért megtiszteltük, bár volt egy-két jobb időnk. Nagyon nehezek ezek a pályák, iszonyat tempó van, elég szűken, nagyon jó teszt a Barumra. Azt gondolom, hogy Magyarországról ide jönni az nem rossz, mert Magyarországon van elég sok tempós pálya, úgyhogy köszönjük a szorítást.
That's brilliant. Yeah, he's got to watch out for the punctures. So, because we got the slightly longer gaps, we can take the interviews in their foreign language as well, which is great for them and great for people watching. It's not just, obviously, English is kind of the majority of the language that is spoken in the world of motorsport in general. But when we've got these bigger gaps, it's just giving us an advantage and a slight chance to speak to some of our drivers in their native language. Because obviously, Norby from Hungary, there's a lot of people watching on Facebook from Hungary, so it's good like that. So that is where we're able to sometimes just eke out an extra bit of interview. Also, it's a less of me having to talk, which is you prefer to hear from a driver rather than me, as I just get myself ready and out of the road as they come up. You can just see all the dirt that's coming on the road here, which is coming out of the wheels from the cuts and things like that. You can kind of see that it's in lines as it's coming through, and this is basically as the car stops, the dirt just falls out of the bottom of the back of the wheel and onto the road there. So that's what all that is. That's just getting picked up from corners which the drivers are cutting. So it's at the end of a particularly gravel stage, a gravelly tarmac stage, so to speak, if you understand what I mean. But a tarmac road with a lot of cutting that can be done, you do get a lot of this. And by the time it's finished, you're thinking, I didn't realise there was any gravel in this stage. There isn't. That is the driver's cutting. The stone's being flicked up and basically spinning around in the wheels and inside the wheel and outside the wheel. And then when they stop, it drops out. So that's what that kind of dirt is there, if you're wondering. An 8:33.0 is the stage time, which is just on the board there for car number 6, Norbert Herzig. Next up to us should be Arai, and yeah, it is Arai. Here he comes. Jürgen, that's just from, I think that's from this morning, that bit of flappy tape just flapping around. That is just from this morning's situation. The car looks okay. Remember, he had a puncture this morning in this stage, in the first stage, both times through. But Hiroki is here. Doesn't need to put his foot on the brake. I've got a rock quite the size of Japan underneath it. Hiroki, obviously I know there was a problem in the previous one, but what was this one like?
Yeah, it's nice and clean, and maybe this is the first time to finish without any problem in the stage, but still maybe we have to change the setup and so on, because now I'm fighting with the car and it's quite hard to turn in, so that's the things we have to focus.
Okay, and so we haven't spoke to you yet in Japanese today. We're on Facebook Live. People watching at home, some words in Japanese.
初日終わりました。いろいろ新しいことも多くて、そのタイヤ的な面でもかなり少し午前中は気温が高くて厳しいところがあったんですけど、午後は一転してちょっとタイヤのチョイスを変えてみていい方向には来てるので、今後楽しみです。はい。
That's it. My Japanese is limited to 2 words. Konnichiwa and arigato. One's hello, one's thank you. And I can't never remember. I think konnichiwa is like hello, good morning, and arigato is thank you. That is my Japanese. The time for our Japanese driver, car number 7, Arai, is 8:43.7. 8:43.7. He's got to the bottom, potentially, of this tyre wear issue. Remember, Yokohama, they just come back into the championship a couple of rallies ago. Their gravel tyre is quite well developed. Their tarmac tyre is very, very new, and they are learning. And this morning, they learned very quickly that the Italian temperatures and the Italian abrasive tarmac, their tyre probably wasn't developed enough. And now Hiroki just having to change his driving style a bit to not have that tyre wear. And they changed stuff on the car. And as he was saying there, now he's fighting the car now, and it's not the easiest thing to drive. But it's all mileage. It might not be great for him right at this moment, but it's all mileage which Yokohama can get for those tyres, which then when they go to the next rallies, they can develop it and build on with that. Because, tell you what, Hiroki in that Citroen on gravel in that car, he's been very quick. Top 5 the last couple of rallies before some issues and some problems, but he is a top 5 challenger all day long. If they can sort those tyres out and get some development into those tyres on the tarmac, he could be a seasoned campaigner for sure, because our championship is 4 gravel, 4 tarmac. The next car is on its way towards us now. It is Alexei Lukyanuk and Alexei Arnatov. Just have a quick look underneath the car as it comes towards me over that crest. It looks all okay. There was a puncture for this car in the previous stage. Everything fine in there. Get a quick word with him. Gets his cap out. So Alexei, it's incredibly hot out here. How tough and demanding is it in the car?
It's more or less the same as for you. Roasting in the sun.
Roasting in the sun. How was it there? Second time through? Everything okay? Obviously the puncture in the previous one, but it's all good now?
Yeah, it's okay. I think, what are the times? 16 to... Yeah, reasonable time. No pushing because we have 0 spares.
It's always a risk. It is always a risk. 0 spares left now. It's an 8:23.5. 8:23.5. And, yeah, second quickest. Second quickest. Quickest is still Krugnola, car number 16. He's just less than 3 seconds away. 2.7 seconds, I think that is. He is away from, as I look at the timing board there, 8:23. What did Habai do? Habai's time is very competitive as well. Habai's only gone 2.1 seconds away. I'm sure Habai's number 1 because he's our championship leader. Yes, he is. So Habai only 2.1 seconds away. So Habai be very, very happy with that. That is for sure. As we just refresh the timing screen now, as we look at that, and now the potentially, oh no, Scandalo will be next. He's doing the gravel Italian Championship this year in his Hyundai i20, but kind of because he's won this rally twice before, an Italian champion and things like that, he has come to do this rally as well. He's entered under the Hyundai Motorsport N bracket that Huttinen entered in Poland this year and last year, and also the banner that Danny Sordo entered under in Barham last year. Wouldn't it be great to see Danny Sordo back in Barham, try and better that third place that he had? But we don't know that's going to happen yet. We're not sure if he's going to come or not. It'd be great if he did. But he did enjoy the rally, him and Carlos. But let's just see. I've got the results up and running now. Let's just see where that is. Luckenuk slots into second place, as we thought, 32.2 seconds away. So it's Basso, Luckenuk. Habai is 20.8 away in third place from Luckenuk. Then Maris, Herzig. Herzig has gained a place, but who potentially was going to move up in there? Maybe, I know, Campidelli was going to move up there. I thought there was a car coming. There's no number on the board yet. The female marshal is so quick. She stands on outside the car. She grabs the time card as the co-driver passes it out the window, and then she just follows the contour of the road round. It is like poetry in motion. A Scandala turns up. 2 times winner here in the past. And here she goes. She grabs the time card, and then whizzes round. Just got that in. Umberto wanting to have a drink. I could do with a drink, but we'll wait till the end. The number 18 on the car. Umberto having a big drink in there. He needs that. Umberto, it's thirsty work driving a rally car. How was that one for you?
Should I? No, now the feeling is a little bit better. We changed the setup before this run, and but it is okay. But we needed to change again because the car was a little bit harder. And okay, now I needed to change the maybe springs.
And some words in Italian, please. Some words in Italian.
The tire, yeah, the tire is okay. It's very good. I'm happy. Thank you.
Okay, Chris had that issue with him this morning as well. They get a bit of a shock when we want to ask them in Italian. They don't quite understand it. Anyway, Scandala is through, making some changes to the cars, we know. An 8:33.0. 8:33.0 is the time for the Hyundai car number 18. As I just checked the board, yeah, that's great for him. Car number 18, 8:33.0. I look down, next Wojtek Staff. Now, Wojtek Staff, he had definitely a front puncture on the left in stage number 4, but he was also reporting, but Chris couldn't quite see it, also reporting a front right puncture. But Chris had a quick look round and said it looked up to him, you know what I mean, pressure-wise. Maybe it's slightly down on pressure. We'll know when Wojtek comes to the end of this stage. He's had a couple of issues with his car this morning, but he's been using this Polo now. He's had a Skoda for all the season so far, but he's been using the Polo in the Czech Championship. And I think he was 5th at the weekend in the rally that they were all doing at the weekend. And in that rally, Philip Maris, who is currently our first car on the road at the moment, Maris had gone off, and they'd had to do a big repair and overhaul on that front end of that car, and they got it here was Wednesday evening or Wednesday lunchtime they got that car here, and then they scrutinised it on Thursday. It was not Wednesday, Thursday, and then they got it scrutinised on Thursday night, ready for the qualifying stage on Friday morning. So great work by Mares' team to get that car fixed. But so Wojtek staff with Veronica co-driving, they're coming to us next, but they have had some issues in stage 4. Let's hope they did have 2 spares on board, and if they did, that they haven't had to use them. So it'll be we'll just kind of like see what is going on. 8:33. The radio is just crackling into life just behind Chris, the cameraman. I was just seeing what was going on there, but nothing going on there. Don't want to disturb the marshal too much. So you see, she's going to write down the number now. Car number 8. She writes down. Now that is the car of Wojtek staff. That's his number. I'm just talking quietly because she's trying to listen in to what is being said down the line to the marshals who are about 300 metres before us. And she gets the message of what the time is as it crosses the beam and the line, and then it comes back through on the phone line. Then she writes it into her book. It comes up electronically as well. So that's why. And they need their time card. The card that the lady is picking up over there and taking to the table, getting the time put on, taken back. That's then handed in at the end of the day, at the end of like legs and things like that. And they're just clarified and checked. Ah! Other side, other side. It's another puncture. Quite rude and abrupt to my cameraman, Chris, there. Try and get a photograph, but that's another issue for just get a photograph of that for our social media team. We're trying to do lots of different things here. I'm going to go back round the corner. Wojtek having a problem, obviously clipping something somewhere. Wojtek, I know there was a problem in the previous stage. What happened there this time?
What can I say? This one we put just in before the stage because we had one puncture on the stage before and the other one was damaged, but looked like it was okay. So we put it to the spare, and the spare we put to the right front, and the spare was damaged as well now. So we try to put the spare back in and finish the last stage. We will see.
That's it. That's a problem then. If he can't finish that, that's an issue. If he can't get that, if that spare doesn't have enough pressure in it, as I just send these to our social media, this is how we get stuff onto our social media. We take a photograph of it, we then send it on an internal messaging group, and they get it at the other end and they fire it up onto the social media. Tibor Erdi Jr. rocks up at the end of the stage. I just shock his wheel. Just checking. Apologies to my cameraman for shouting at him in the previous one when Wojtek came to the end of the stage. We just needed to get those pictures. But Tibor's in. Get ourselves sorted. Tibor, what's it like this afternoon?
Everything is okay. We go and show the stop the end. Okay, not a good race for me.
That's it. And some words in Hungarian, please.
Sziasztok! Az első gyorsan elúszott, minden reményünk, hogy jó versenyünk legyen, egy dupla defektel. Most egy kicsit motivációvesztettek vagyunk, megpróbálunk a holnapi napra egy picit jobban odafókuszálni.
That's great. That's Tibor Erdi Jr., two-time ERC2 champion, stepping up into the main ERC1 category. He did that in the final round of last year in Liepāja, and then has done it through this season as well. It's a 9:15.1 is the time for Wojtek staff, and then the time for Tibor Erdi Jr. is 8:52.3. 8:52.3. I'm just going to check because Tibor Erdi Jr. is just need to flick the page now. Next up should be our winner of the under-27 category last year, the champion, and part of that prize was 2 rallies in the ERC in an R5 car. Martin Seks did the first one in Liepāja, his home round, where he finished on the podium, 3rd overall. This is his second one. Just looking at the car as it comes underneath, quick glance underneath the car, all looked okay. And Martins is here, and he said to us in Liepāja, he said, I've missed you all. Whoops. Got some water in there, thank you very much. chocked the rear wheel. You've just driven a stage for like 8 or so minutes. You got less sweat on you than I have, and I'm standing outside.
Well, we have good ventilation here, but you know, it's really hot here.
It is. How was it though?
Well, it was good. It's getting better and better, and looks like time is not so bad for the first tarmac rally with R5.
That's good. And some words, because we're live on Facebook, some words in Latvian for people at home.
Sveiciens šeit no Itālijas. Ir ļoti karsts mums, bet mācamies. Otrā reize sanāk jau daudz labāk, un es domāju, ka ir labi mācīties šeit un pirmo reizi braukt ar 5 uz asfaltu.
Brilliant, that's great. Thank you, Martins. There was a huge Volga thing went flying between me and Martins then. Gave me the shock of my life. Let's look at his time. 8:38.3 is the time that he's done. Let's compare that to what is around car number 2, an 8:23. So 15 or so seconds off our current top drivers. Alexei Lukanuki's in second place, remember, but an 8:20 for Krugnola. He is still the quickest. So 18 seconds down. Well, I can't remember how long this stage was. I'd have to get my itinerary out to just double check how long this stage was. Just under 14 kilometres this stage is. Campidelli, he's on a big mission. He is on a massive mission as he appears at the end of the stage. Remember, it's its debut for this car. We had a look around it last night in Rome. Debut for this car in the European Rally Championship. We saw it in Estonia on the previous rally, and it's got mirrored windows, so I can't see what's in the back, kind of tyre-wise. But Simone Campidelli having a great run through the previous stage. Remember, I said he was up some places. We'll try and get a word with him. Just let him take his crash helmet off. We're in no rush as long as he's in no rush. So crash helmet comes off. Simone, obviously the puncture earlier on in the day, but since then the times have been brilliant.
Not brilliant. To be honest, till last year we were able to win the stages. The moment we still struggle with the car. It looks like I have not too much power, but at the moment it's like this. We are a bit far from where we expect it to be, but I can't make, to be honest, too much more, and probably 2 or 3 seconds, but I cannot catch the time of Krugnola today. But we mustn't forget that is our first day in the new Fiesta, which is the potential is really high of the car. But I'm still not confident to use it properly.
Okay, he's just wanting. Oh, he's wanting some more water. He's won a couple of glasses, or a couple of bottles, not glasses. A couple of bottles of water. He's wanting. I mean, I'm referring to. He was like out of the top 10 and massively struggling, and then. Now, his afternoon, like he's after his puncture, he's come up. I mean, he's just done a time. Is he in there? He's just done a time 5th quickest, 8:29.3. I will stand to the side in case the car turns up. And you know, he is in 4th place. He's gone past Mares. You know, he's just gone past Mares after this stage number 5. So he is into 4th place. So when I said brilliant, maybe not brilliant. I was just looking up. They said there were some clouds around, and. Yeah, there is. I tell you what, that's quite some respite for us underneath. The sun's just gone behind one of those clouds. We did talk about the rain was meant to come. I hope it doesn't. Well, if it does, I hope it doesn't come while we're on air. But I'm just going through those times. Campidelli, what I was meaning then, I maybe worded it wrong. When I said his times are brilliant, his performance overall, he's up to 4th now. Just got past Maris. Chris Ingram will be happy about that. As Lars Stugamo, I think this is, yeah. He is arriving at the end of the stage. Hyundai for him this weekend. Normally he is in a Polo, but that is in Finland at the minute. But Lars in a Hyundai, and he's been enjoying himself in this car. You get a quick word with him.
Hello, sunshine. How are you?
Lars, I am very hot and sweaty, but that's just the way it goes. How is it out there?
Yeah, it was slippery and sweaty. Yeah, but it was good fun. I think this is really, really difficult. It's more difficult than the Canarias, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you have to stop for coffee and espresso and the grappa and everything. But we love it.
That's it. Okay, but you got a lot of people work for you back in Sweden. Some words in Swedish in case they're watching.
Om ni tittar på det här så borde ni vara på jobbet istället. If you look at this, you should be at work instead.
That's it. So that's Lars Stugamo. Company back home employs 1,400 people in his company, and does a lot of good things for cancer research and raising money for cancer research and cancer awareness. But he's done a 9:098 is the time for Lars Stugamo. Just forgot his name there for all of us. And I'm now going down the list. Alonso Montero should be next up with us, the Portuguese driver, and he should come down towards us now. This morning when I spoke to him, he said that he was struggling with the front end in the slow corners, the higher speed stuff, the faster stuff. The car was pretty well balanced. As soon as he turned into the slower stuff, it was understeering a lot. Some of that, I think, could be coming from this dirt that we're talking about, that is being pulled out onto the corners from the cars that are in front. Because I know right now he is not the 19th car on the road. He's probably about the 14th car on the road due to the people that have had problems and issues. But that will be still dirt being pulled out, that is for sure, as he arrives in his Skoda. I'm going to try and find out. I've asked him before about the number 44. Let's just do a little bit of a quick story. Try and find out what that is again, because I forgot. So, Alonso is in. Always got a smile on his face. So it's there again. We're live on Facebook at the end of stage 5. Now this morning you were telling me that the car was just a bit loose in the slow corners. How is it this afternoon?
It's better now. I think we improve a little bit in the service. Now we need to find the confidence, but I think the pop-off opens like 3 times, especially on the 2. I was trying to push and the car went down, so I think we have to change the pop-off.
You have to change the pop-off. Now, a question I asked you in the previous rally, and I couldn't remember the answer. You have a number 44, like a hashtag 44. This is something to do with MotoGP. What is it?
It was the previous number of Oliveira, the Portuguese guy that is on MotoGP. Now the guy is 88 because they forced him to change, but his number is the 44.
And he's a friend of yours?
Yes.
Okay, I see. Right, so that's what it was. Right. A friend of his who's in MotoGP, now number 88, but was number 44. And it's a 9:10.3 for him. And I've got a whole rake of messages in now. I'm just making sure that there's, see what they are. Okay, Paolo Nobre, who I think is coming next. Oh no, Emma Falcon. Paolo Nobre is, the boot is open on his car. So the tailgate. So Emma is in. Chock the wheel. Get a quick word with Emma. 4 tyres inflated. Let's just get Emma Falcon at the end of the stage. There's a smile on her face anyway. Emma, more and more mileage in the car. How was this stage?
We have a problem with the pop-off and we lost a little time, but it's okay.
Okay, ¿en español?
Tenemos algunos problemas con la pop-off, pero bueno, el resto bien, el tramo este me gusta.
Okay, so pop-off valve problem for the Canary Islander there. Right, let's just see, where is... okay, the next car that arrives, I'm going to tell my cameraman when he turns round. The next car that arrives, Chris, the cameraman, the next car, we need to be at the back, because Paolo Nobre's boot is up. He's got massive, thank you very much, he's got huge aerodynamic and drag now. Got the biggest rear spoiler in the rally at the moment. And 8:54 is the time. Let's just see. So the boot is open. I'm just getting more. Okay. I'm just checking what else is going on in my phone. Right, so Nobre's boot, he's coming next. So we'll wait. He should be coming next anyway, unless he stopped to put it down. But Paolo Nobre is after Emma Falcon. That'd be like a big windbreak, that will. Massive, huge. It'd be quite good on a really fast road, because it would kind of like keep the back end in loads of grip. But with the boot open on a twisty road, it's not ideal. That is for sure. And then we're into Nucita and Polonsky. So this is our last of our R5 cars. And then we go into ERC2, waiting for Paolo Nobre and Gabriel Melez to turn up. Paulo Nobre's human interest story. He was the chairman of the Palmeiras Football Club in Brazil for 4 years. That's why he went missing from rallying. He was around, then he went missing from rallying. He came back. His 4-year tenure was over as the chairman of the club. And here he comes. This should be him, I think, unless he's got other issues. And, oh, I think he must have stopped to put it down. And he's got some damage on the front. Oh, I think it's gone down on its own now that he's... Okay, I think it's gone down on its own. So there's some small damage on the front. I don't know which stage that was. We'll find out. But we'll get a quick word with him. Paulo, a couple of things. One, there's a little bit of damage on the front. And two, we were told that the boot, the tailgate was open.
Unfortunately, Pico this second time was a pica for us. My God. We had a delay in the beginning, so I think the tires got a little bit colder and we spin in the beginning and we crash in one little wall. And afterwards, where Rossetti was out of the road, I cut a little bit more than the necessary and I had a flat tire. So yes, it was not the special stage that we planned. And now we try to do our best, but I don't know. I think the handbrake has something that is not strong enough, and some hairpins, it's a little bit difficult. But yeah, let's see. The important that we are surviving in the rally.
That is it. It is important that he's surviving in the rally. He's obviously potentially unaware. I think Gabriel knew that the boot was open because when I mentioned it, he smiled. But I think they were unaware too much that the boot was open. But a moment and an off in the previous stage as Nutita, who's leading ERC2 and the Abarth Rally Cup, huge prize money on offer for the winner of each round of this category. Big money. And he is at the end of the stage. And it's a lot lower, the car. We've got to get right down into it. It's got a cool steering wheel and everything. But Andrea, it's tough, it's hot, but how is the car handling?
Yeah, but it's all okay. In this stage, the top of the car is incredible. I am more feeling, and so I have to do my best, and I continue like this.
That's it. It's a commanding lead for Andrea Nutita in ERC2 and that Abarth Cup. I think it's 12,000 euros. To the winner each time on each round. 12,000 for first, 10 I think for second, and then at the end of the season 30,000 to win. You can win a whole rake of money if you do well in that category, which is great for them. And they're better suited to the tarmac roads. We see in ERC2 we've got the Mitsubishis, the Subarus, which are four-wheel drive turbocharged. Then you have the rear-wheel drive Abarths. When you're on the gravel, it does favour the four-wheel drive cars naturally. When you're on the tarmac, it does favour the rear-wheel drive cars. So the pair of them are quite good when we have that split of the championship with the tarmac and the gravel. And you know what? That sun it's just taken the edge off those clouds, has really taken the edge off the sun. I'm not sweating quite so much now, and it's just dropped a couple of degrees, which is really, really nice. Just having a look at who else is coming towards us. Polonsky, Meligari, Althefri, and then we are into our ERC3 and our junior category drivers. And we're going to just keep going, which is great, with a few more of our junior drivers. That's what we want to see. We want to see some of our young, up-and-coming stars, and it signals a car is coming because our female marshal has walked across the road. We're waiting to see which one comes through. For car 25, it was a time of 8:45.3, 8:45.3 for car 23, which was our... car 25, sorry, which was Nutita. Getting a bit confused, but never mind. I blame the sun. It's hot. But... we are waiting now, hopefully, for Polonsky or Meligari. Should be Polonsky, but is it going to be Meligari? Polonsky did clear the previous stage. He was in second place in ERC2, also in the Abarth Cup, because Nutita leads that. I can hear a car coming, but I can't see it yet. Which is it, a white or a blue? It is the white one. It is Dariusz Polonsky from Poland, who is with us now. And this car, it's got a little dent on it, but normally this car is absolutely immaculate. Got a little dent on it at the moment. Had a quick word with Darius. Some problems remembering Poland, but at the minute all seems to be okay. Darius, your top workout in the car, what was it like through there? Oh, your 2 stages this afternoon, in fact.
Problems again. We have some problems with turbocharger. If overboosting and some kind of the fuel leak. It's horrible smell inside, so we have to work it out now. We'll see what happened. But very difficult.
Okay, I'm going to let you go. If there's a bit of a fuel leak, I'll let you get going. We don't want the fumes around us at the stop line. So problems in the afternoon loop for Darius and Lukasz in the 26 car. And he's just done he's done a 9:22. So 30 plus seconds down on Nutita in there, but Nutita Italian, he will know these roads, so a little bit of that in there as well. But Darius, just a few more problems, and that car looks really, really nice when you look at it. Some of them kind of like looking like they've done a couple of rallies. That seems to turn out like it's showroom fresh, as Chris Rawls would normally say it. So let's just look through who else we're going to have coming. Next up should be Zelindo Meligari. Now, he's normally in a four-wheel drive car, and Mitsubishi this year is running an Evo 10. But for an Italian driver in the Italian round, he picked an Italian car, the Abarth. And when he was a kid growing up, on his wall in his bedroom, he used to have Abarth rally pictures, Lancia and Abarth pictures on his wall as a kid. And now he said, I couldn't do the Italian round at ERC and not be in an Italian car. But here he is, Zelindo Meligari, at the end of the stage, door open, and not sure, he's just flicking down the gears. Door open already, because it's hot work in this car. And I do like the colours on this one. I have to say, they're nice colours. I think he wants about 4 litres of water, I think. Looking at he's a little bit warm. But he's here. Zelindo, it's hot work for old people like us, isn't it? How have those 2 stages been?
This stage is good. I repaired the car in the special stage because switch had a problem to up the gear. But okay, with this problem, good time, less feeling calm. And the other special stage, we make a burnout, stop the car. Because the rest of the special stage was very, very, very good. But okay, but feeling less, maybe arrive. Will arrive.
That's great. So sounds like a spin in the first stage after lunch, and a gear selection issue in this stage. When he was saying, you might not have picked that up on the camera, but when he was talking about struggling, he seemed to be talking about the gear selection. But 9:29.0 was the time for Zelindo Meligari. So that's our 3-hour bars that we've got through so far, and they will hold station. It will be Nutita, followed by Polonsky, and then Zelindo Meligari, our top 3 in that category at the end of stage 5. They've all got 1 stage still to go, and that will be starting shortly. We're going to just stay on air for a little bit longer before we move over to that stage 6 with our radio coverage. Our Facebook Live will finish shortly because stage number 6 is going to start, and we will move over and cover all of our drivers there. But that'll be on our ERC radio service via the app or the website, depending on which one you want to watch it on. So now, next up should be a Mitsubishi Evo 10. Now, you've just seen those cars come through. The Abarth, really low, really kind of like sporty. The next car that comes through, all being well, should be a Mitsubishi Evo 10, which is an extremely fast car. Can do speeds of 200 kilometers per hour, but it's big. It's kind of like twice the height. It's not twice the weight, but it's a much bigger car, and it's very, very difficult and demanding to drive it on the tarmac roads. On the gravel, it's okay, but Althefri is in now. Number 27 on the door. Whoops! Handbrake on to get to the stop. And this is, he did Liepāja, he did Poland, and now he is at the end of this stage, stage number 5, in Rally di Roma Capitale. But we'll get a word with Mr. Free. How is it going now this afternoon?
It's in the morning. It's very late for Abarth cars, and now we try to keep the same gap. Maybe somebody make mistake, and we will jumping. Thank you.
That's the plan. You've got to stay in it to win it. As we were saying, it's a tough challenge for the drivers in the big cars. Just look how big that car is as it leaves compared to the size of the Abarth. And, I mean, I love the Abarth because it's a car that's actually shorter than me, and there's not many things in this world shorter than Julian Porter. So I can see right over the top of it. I have to actually kind of like crouch down to be at the same height as the driver. But a 10.079 is the time for our Mitsubishi through. Next up, coming through, is Eric Size, Ken Torn, Sindre Frosef, a friend Lorena. This is our ERC3 Junior battle. And let me get my phone up into working order, and let's just check those latest results from the previous stage, stage number 4 in ERC3. Let's just get those drivers up and running. Stage number 4, Ken Torn won it, but Sindre Frosef, I'm going to screen grab this now. Sindre Frosef, he was leading. Munster is in second. Ken Torn, Eric Size. Ken Torn and Size swapping positions. 4.9 seconds between them going into that stage. Just check this message just to make sure that I'm not missing anything else in there. No, I'm not. That's okay, just in case any instructions come through, because we can't talk on the phone. We get messages through on our message services. Eric Size, Jędrzejka Zarkova in the co-driver's seat. This is our first ERC3 junior driver. Eric, pretty rapid at getting his crash helmet off, and a former mountain biker, and decided to go to 4 wheels. And we were talking earlier on, Lynn at school, but Eric just lost a place in the previous stage. Ken Torn's coming really quickly. How have those 2 stages been?
The first one, I don't know where I lose time. The guys are so quick. Here it was quite better, I think, but in the middle of stage we hit the big stone. So I hope that car is okay, and we will fix it in the service. But yeah, a lot of fun here, and yeah, I really enjoyed. Thank you.
That's great. So hit a big stone in stage number 5. I'm just going to check. I didn't notice any bumper damage or anything like that. The car looks fine as he leaves the stop line there. He's in that battle kind of with his teammate. When I say kind of, you might think, what do you mean kind of? Another Ford Fiesta. And now, I mean, look at the stage time, 9:09. That is quicker than all of our ERC2 cars, bar one, bar New Cheetah. He is right in the game there, 9:098. Let's see what can happen with him. He has got to make up 4.9 seconds to get back past Ken Torn. Ken Torn is our next car. He's won a couple of stages, Ken. He had a puncture very early on in the rally, which put him down the order. Tarmac, as we said earlier on, is not his specialised subject either. So he's learning it. He's learning it pretty rapidly, because this is difficult and demanding tarmac. But Ken Torn, in his Ford Fiesta, he's won the last 2 rounds, remember. He came into the championship in Liepāja, won in Liepāja, went to Poland, won in Poland, and he's about to appear at the end of the stage here. All looks okay as he came round the corner. And a lot of drivers, I tell you what I have noticed. I'm going to get my cameraman to look at this. Look at this here. Look at this hole here. This is Armco barrier marks here. This is how close they've been to the edge of the road. I'm going to try and get a photograph of that as well. This is Armco barrier marking, I'm sure it is. I'm going to just get a quick look. Ken's probably wondering what we're looking at. Ken, it's been another competitive afternoon, stage win in the previous one. How have they both been?
Yeah, now we have spare and we enjoy a lot and improve our driving style. So I hope it's go better and better.
That's it. I'm just looking at the wing here, and there's a scrape on it, as if you've been cutting Armco.
I don't know where it came. It's after the first stage, this loop. So yeah, I don't know where it came.
Okay, I got a feeling that is an Armco barrier mark. Look at it. That's how close these drivers are getting to the racing lines and using all of the road. A 9:037. He takes more time out of Eric Size. He's just taken 6.1 seconds out of him. So that gap extends in the favour of the Estonian of Ken Torn. But that little mark there, I'm going to send that off to our social media team. And that is cutting it fine, I think, is probably another way of saying that. Let's just get that through. Someone's just sent me a message. I'm hoping that message is not saying, I thought I was off. Okay, getting news. Habai is gone off the road Habai stopped or off the road in stage number 6. We were just talking to Habai here before. He's stuck in stage in a minute. He's off the road, is Habai, in stage 6. Off the road. That's usually coming from Chris Rawes, who is at the end of stage 6. We've got a couple more cars here before we cross over to Chris Rawes on our radio service. But here, Sindre Farasev has come to the end of the stage. Sindre has had many second places this season. He's wanting a win, and he's leading at the moment as 5 stages completed. And he's just beckoning our guys across for some water. The gap is 23 seconds. Sindre, the gap's 23 seconds coming in, but how have those 2 stages been this afternoon?
A little bit too careful on the last one. Driving in the middle of the road, I heard many rumors about punctures, and without knowing what they hit, so I just stayed in the middle of the road trying to avoid everything. I gave it a push in here, but I think this one is maybe the most difficult stage for us non-turbo cars, so I can see the time is quite good, so I'm happy.
That's it, yeah, the non-turbo cars. What he's referring to there is a lot of uphill. As we said, we come 900 metres above sea level at the finish, and the Ford Fiestas and the Renault of Bernardi further back, they have turbochargers. In the R category, in the ERC3 category, you're allowed different versions of front-wheel drive cars, and the little Ford Fiestas, they have a turbo engine, smaller engine capacity, but a turbocharger, and they can punch their way up the hill so much better than the normally aspirated cars. But Sindre putting in a time of 9:05.1, which is it is the third quickest time through, no, the second quickest time through, but importantly for him, only a couple of seconds away from what Ken Thorne's done. Ken Thorne's the man of the moment at the minute. Next up to us, and I believe will be our final car before we cross over to stage 6. Waiting for more information on Habai. He'd had a great run this afternoon, but it's all gone wrong at the minute. He is off the road, we're believing. Anyway, he stopped. Something has happened to Habai. He is stopped in stage 6, the final one of the day. As a friend Lorena, second in the championship at the minute. But he had a puncture in stage 1, and since then it's been time to make up the order. And a friend and Sarah Fernandez are here. I just quickly glance under the car. All looks okay. We'll get a quick word with him as he is into the stage stop and turning off his GoPro. But a friend, 2 stages done this afternoon. Just talk me through them.
I don't know. It's going to be very difficult now. My target is to catch to be 5th after the first leg. I think we can do it. We will see the time of the other guys, but Roman Sweat and John Talas, so we'll see for tomorrow. I don't know.
Okay, struggling a little bit there for information. We're just getting a friend. He's just kind of like, I think he was a bit lost. He's just in a time of 9:06.4, so he's in the ballpark for sure. Information through, more information through. Just before we cut away, Habai it's been reported as a crash in stage 6. But that is us on our Facebook live feed, done and dusted in stage 5. If you want to continue with the rally coverage from us, you need to cross over to our radio channel now, where Chris Rawes is at the end of stage number 6. I might be able to pick up a few more cars here at the end of stage 5 on our radio service, but we're leaving the Facebook live at the end of stage 5. Thanks for joining us. But first of all, before we go, last night the drivers got to go through the streets of Rome on a ceremonial tour of the highlights of the tourist attractions in Rome. We've got a little bit of VT showing that. Join us tomorrow for our Facebook Live stages as well. But first of all, let's look through Rome from a rally car's point of view.
Rome, with the Colosseum, Rome, and the Grand Museum, Rome. Love is everywhere, so meet me up there at St. Peter's Square in Rome. On the 7 hills, that's Rome, the Italian thrills, 'cause love is alive when you're roaming in Rome. Who put the Roman romantic? That's Rome. I'm asking, who put the Roman